Hey, sorry, I'm late.
Joyce is with us.
Oh, yay!
Yeah, she didn't leave after all.
Bless your heart, Joyce. Thank you.
No
Mhm.
problem.
I think we could probably start by dispensing with the minutes. And I
Zan, you
don't,
need to call the meeting to order first.
okay, calling the meeting to order at, what time is it?
I have 9:32.
9:32. Mm-hmm. And um,
Oops.
I'm going to be switching back and forth because I don't have a printer here to print the agenda. So in order to see where we are, I have to do that. Um, do I have approval of the minutes for the July 23rd meeting? I make a motion to approve them.
I guess I will do that.
Yeah. You want to make a motion? I'll second it.
Oh, you were making the motion. Okay, no, I'll second it.
Okay. All right. Okay. So um, uh, let me tell you, I did have finally a conversation with Bob Boone this morning. We've been chasing each other. Um, I I had hoped that he, in fact, hadn't done work on the foundation where there was a pretty evident hole by the patio where there was pink insulation on the ground, and it was quite apparent that animals had come and gone through this access. He and his guys went there the day after I first talked to him about this, which is now several weeks ago, and they were confused about where it was. They didn't remember that it said patio, and they found a hole toward the steps that go to the kitchen entrance,
Okay,
and they dutifully patched that hole. They said there was evidence of entry on the inside of the building at that point, so they were pretty convinced they had the right spot. So I had hoped that we were going to get the money back from the contract that was $325 to patch foundation holes, um, that we could put toward having a mason do the entire thing. But I guess that's not going to happen since they did do work on the foundation.
okay.
Um, so I think they're through. And I did confirm with them that there are not one but two soffits at flanking the terrace. The one where the door goes into the living room, and the other long wall where the door goes to the the inoperable door that's not being used goes into the room where the chamber
Mhm.
that the chamber's rented. You can see from the photographs that I sent, both
Yeah,
of those in desperate condition.
yeah. Those are
I
good
mean,
photographs.
um, we just, didn't anticipate so much rot that we can't address by patching and putting in screening. And um, I, hopefully there's some more money that can be found somewhere to secure the building before winter, but I'm concerned about that. So Marge, that's all I know from Bob. Um, do you want to give us any update on the sewer?
I haven't heard anything. I can follow up on it. I haven't.
My recollection is that um,
I mean,
Gavel found another
yeah,
connection in the back.
right, he did, and he gave us an estimate, which I think I reported at the last meeting. I can't remember.
Okay, well, I thought the estimate came before his discovery of a different connection, and
No,
that might
no,
make it a
no.
different number.
No,
No,
no, he
same
wasn't
number.
able, he couldn't give an estimate because he couldn't, with the original location that had been paved over, he didn't want to do that because he had no idea what that would have entailed. So he
Okay.
waited until he found the connection in the back, and that's what the estimate is based on.
Okay, great. Do you know, there was a question about whether that also included filling the old septic?
Oh, that's right. Okay. I don't know. I'll ask him.
Okay, I think that's the only outstanding thing. Um, Contractor updates. Um, Still having trouble chasing people.
Yep.
Um, Chris was able to get a hold of Kevin Brady,
Mhm.
and Kevin said, "Oh, I sent her things." Well, what he sent were the photographs that I forwarded to you and Chris,
Okay.
which were very helpful to have. I mean, he
Yeah.
brought a ladder, got up on the roof, took direct, up close pictures of the damage there that needs repair, and also the soffits, and it's pretty bad.
Mhm.
But I have no numbers.
Okay.
I sent him an email last week and asked him, please, 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 we had a meeting today. Could he get some numbers together for the work that needs to be done, and also let me know about his availability? The priority is to make sure there's no more animal access through open, rotten boards. And some of it, although it's unsightly, is better off being repaired when the roof is replaced.
Mhm.
So I sent him some notes, but he has a filter on his email so that if you're not in his approved list, he won't be able to get your email. It goes to a suspect folder.
Hmm.
So in order to bypass that, I sent him a text on his cell phone to say, please look in your spam folder. I sent you an email and would really be so grateful to hear back from you. Please call me. Never got a call.
How about the post office? Sending a
What?
sending a written letter through the post office.
Which
It'll
which
help
is
the post
now
office
which is
be.
now delayed because there are no more sorting machines
No, but
available. Yeah.
I'm not being facetious, and I sometimes that is the best way to reach people if they've got electronic
Well,
barricades.
yeah, well, I wouldn't suppose he has an electronic barricade on his cell phone. I mean, he might not
Yeah,
recognize my number,
that's all
but
I mean.
I sent a text message, which he
Okay.
presumably got. Anyway, I don't really know how to handle it. I did meet with another contractor while I was in town last week. I met with a highly recommended painter from New Milford who came with a carpenter.
Oh,
And
okay.
they work together a lot, and
Okay.
would, tag team each other and work at the same
Great.
time so that, it would get done efficiently and you wouldn't have to chase one contractor for carpentry and one contractor for painting to follow up.
Well, that's good
And
because I reached out to Hank. I can't remember his last name. Hank,
Hank,
somebody who is
Hank,
the owner of Classic Painting.
yeah.
I haven't heard from him yet.
Yeah, I now that I know that Hank is Classic Painting, I talked to him some weeks ago. He
Okay.
had a lot of work lined up
Yeah.
then. He
Yeah.
didn't,
John Johnson said he was busy. So,
yeah, he didn't think he would be able to get to anything else, really before winter, depending upon the weather
okay.
and
Okay.
how quickly he got through other jobs.
All right. Well, then I
He
won't.
also, he like this painter that I talked to from New Milford.
Okay.
John Johnson said that he has a carpenter that works with him too,
Okay.
so that they can, he has people that can restore
Great.
as well as
Yeah.
replace.
Okay. Well, I won't pester Hank then. That's good to know.
Yeah.
That was,
Well,
oh, that was,
hopefully, I don't have a bid from this guy, but I don't think it's going to be cheap. But there's so much work that's been neglected over so
yeah.
long that
Yeah.
it's just piled up. Anyway, hoping that Chris could tell us something about the ambulance barn status, because it would be nice when we're all in town again. Um, it would be nice to have a committee meeting with um, Geraldine and Hiram Williams, who's the vice chair of the chamber, and have a whole conversation with them about what, ideas that they have for the use of the building. And my
Okay.
hope was that if the ambulance barn or some part of it were available to us, that they could use that to store all the stuff that's
Mhm.
stored in the
Mhm.
so-called office,
Right,
freeing up the office for a more attractive and usable space.
right.
Um, Newsletter. Um, I had a couple conversations finally with Jean, who's been out straight, dealing with the power failure and the aftermath, and trying to read through a million emails that came in the meantime. And she put the survey into a Survey Monkey format. There were a couple of things that she that she's going to edit. I explained to her that she had put in company instead of organization or interest group. And I told her that we really were trying to, that our concept at this point for the building is that it would be used for community organizations and interest groups, and to serve the needs of the community, not to be commercial space unless it's decided to either make an apartment or offices for rent on the second
Right.
floor.
Okay.
And that we therefore didn't want people to think that this, sign up to use it for company use.
Right, right.
Um,
Good.
so she's going to change that.
Okay.
And she had an interesting interpretation. I don't know if I have it in front of me. No, it's on another page on my computer that I can't access. She one of the last questions that I had on the survey was about using the space for exhibitions, like
Mhm.
the postcard exhibition that we did. And I know that when you had offices there, you used to do, I think I recall you did some exhibitions in the rest of the space, so that things that would be open to the public for a limited period of time. And she interpreted it as the town would create and sponsor various programs there,
Mhm.
including things like, maybe an open mic poetry reading, an
Oh,
acoustic
wow. Okay. Yeah.
musical concert or something, which I don't know who would organize and manage that.
But
My,
it's an interesting idea, I think,
yeah,
because so many of the programs take place at the town hall, which is good for larger crowds. But if you wanted to have some more cozy
intimate,
thing
yeah.
like a poetry reading, I think that would be a nice spot.
Yeah, I do too. So, I need to talk. We were both watching the convention last night, and she got home really late because she called me from the office at, it was almost 9 when we talked last. So I need to talk to her again about that, so that we
Okay.
can format, maybe it's 2 questions, maybe one is about exhibits and the other exhibitions and the other one is
Okay.
about programs,
Mhm.
or we could commingle them. But my thought was that organizations would come to us and say, we'd like to mount an exhibition.
Mhm.
And the town would say, great, how long do you have in mind? I didn't want to make more work for town staff, or for,
Right.
I don't know who would, I don't
Right.
know who would even do that.
Well, I know from working with guest curators how challenging that can be, in the sense that people come in and they think they can do something independently, but then they're constantly asking you, where do I do this or how do I do that? So I think that would have to be carefully thought through, but
And
it's
I think when
yeah.
we do any work on the interior of the building, we should keep that in mind, because remembering when Melissa and I mounted the postcard show,
Yeah. Yeah.
it was very hard
Yeah.
because some walls have picture molding that you can
Right.
hang from and
Right.
some don't. And
Well,
uh,
let's see what the response is, if anybody even expresses an interest in it.
Yeah,
You know, if it seems to be a popular idea, then
yeah,
we have to figure out what to do to the building to make it ready. But
yeah,
well, let's not put the cart before the horse.
right. I mean, I don't know what the status of, the old Sunday series. I know there's no funding from the state, which makes that difficult. But I
We're
do,
not even thinking about 2021 yet.
yeah, I mean, people can't gather, so,
You know, we do want to
the
do it.
thought for post-vaccine future,
Right.
right? Anyway, so I think hopefully, I don't know exactly when she's going to send the next newsletter, but hopefully the survey will be in it.
Okay.
And then I've asked to get responses back by the 31st of August.
Okay.
Then in September, we can see what we have.
Okay.
She also needs to find out if we can get our own link on the town's website or email so that we can access the responses.
Mhm.
And she's working something out for that. She said it may be full, but if not, they can forward the information
Okay.
to you and Chris and me.
Okay.
Anyway, but she had some good ideas and nice language that she put into the Survey Monkey.
Great.
So that's
Good.
good. So where are we on this agenda? What I know there's a Board of Selectmen's meeting tonight. And I was hoping that I would have enough information about costs to be able to ask the board for permission to at least go ahead with the foundation and chimney work, because the chimney leaks need to be addressed.
Mhm.
I've talked to several masons. One of them just really doesn't want to put Band-Aids on the chimneys
Mhm.
and wouldn't warranty it. Matt Sheldon has been very nice about it because, he cares about the building and the town. And he's given me a price to do the foundation masonry work. And as he said, put Band-Aids on a beautiful old building.
Yeah.
Everybody that I've talked to, including Mason Lord and all the Masons, say we should be doing the chimneys and the roof at the same time.
It makes perfect sense.
But I don't
But-
think we can wait for another budget year without doing anything, because in the meantime, the pictures show you
Yeah. Yeah.
the faults and the flashing and the fact that the chimneys are absorbing moisture and
Mhm.
so the Band-Aid would be to put 1.5 bluestone on the chimney that goes to the living room
Mhm.
and the rear chimney, neither of which are being used. We
Okay.
can't do that on the chimney by Patco on the west side
Right.
because that chimney's used for the
Yeah,
furnace.
right.
And
right.
I think that chimney, his recollection was that chimney is in a lot better shape.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah. So we concentrate on the two that are really falling apart and missing brick and
Mhm.
absorbing moisture. And between the bluestone and a couple coats of silicone,
Yeah.
and he said, I don't even know where to start with the flashing until I start taking it apart.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what I'm going to find.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, it's in terrible shape.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
He said if it's step flashing, he said, I don't know how I can do proper flashing without damaging some of the shingles around that's the problem.
I agree.
They're all connected.
And
But
that's what Mason said to the town back in 2006 or whenever that was.
all right.
2009.
So And I don't have a number for that. He has to start taking that apart and looking at it. But the numbers for the repairing the foundation so that we don't get any more animals in those foundation holes, that would be 2,700 about. And doing the repair to 2 of the chimneys and putting sealer on would be 2,500.
Okay.
Not including the flashing.
Okay.
So that's a total of just shy of $5,000, 25.
Mhm.
Yeah, so 40, yeah. Anyway, I was hoping that I'd have enough information and be able to talk to Chris about whether we could at least start with one or the other of these things and do maybe the foundation work.
I think that would make sense to do that first, and then as soon as possible, do the chimneys.
So if you and I agree that that would be a good approach, if I can reach Chris during the day today and tell him that we would like to be able to proceed with either the foundation or the chimneys, or ask for enough funds to do both.
It would be great if we could do both.
We have the 6,000 from that the Board of Finance allowed us,
Okay.
and we have 1,000 from the leftover from the Board of Selectmen, the 6,000 that they,
I think we should ask to do both.
or it's 5,000, I guess, from the Board of Finance.
Well, that's still, if you've got,
And Joyce, do you know or recall if the Board of Finance increase was in addition to what was already in the budget for repairs and maintenance?
Yes, it was in addition to.
Okay, so it's whatever, it's the $5,000 plus the budgeted, the previously budgeted amount.
let's do it then.
And then the 1,000 that the Board of Selectmen had as a contingency in case we had to bring carpenters in to do soffits. We really have to do some of that work, so we can't spend it all on masonry, because then we'll still have these rotten boards that will allow.
Well, then maybe the question would be, do we do the foundation and work on the soffits? And do the chimney in the next go round? And one thing about working on the soffits that might help just visually in terms of the town is that would be something people could see being done. It would be a lot more of a visible repair than, if Matt's up there one day just putting the caps on the chimney and sealing it, people might not see that. But the soffits would just from a PR point of view type thing.
Right. Well, and also, when I walked around the building with the painter and the carpenter, I said, there's one board, one section of horizontal boards that are not siding, that are by the kitchen entrance stairs. And it's the first thing you see when you drive into the driveway is all this peeling paint.
Yep.
And just, it isn't of consequence in terms of protecting the building, but we just need to show people that we're doing something.
Well, I think the priority would be the foundation, because we know that needs to be done, and then really dealing with the rotten soffits. So I see what you're saying, but I think if we can kill 2 birds with 1 stone, repair the rotten soffits and still be visible, people seeing that we're doing something, then maybe we can help get people to put pressure on the town to go forward.
Yeah. or we can talk to the Board of Selectmen about whether there are any other funds that are available to
Yeah,
do this.
oh, yeah, yeah.
To at least do the bluestone and the silicone and the,
Mhm.
you know,
And I can, I'm in a conversation right now with the people at the Connecticut Trust about an iron furnace up in Salisbury, which is privately owned. And they made it pretty clear that the Connecticut Trust and the 1772 Foundation will fund municipal and nonprofit buildings.
yeah.
So
Okay.
I can shift my focus there had been to get the house on the state register, and I haven't heard back from them. But because I've got a dialogue going with Jane Montanaro at the trust, I could see whether the trust would be interested in working in the Swift House.
That would be wonderful.
Yeah, all right.
Wonderful.
And I will actually, I'm so glad you got those pictures from Kevin, because I will shoot those right down to Jane
Yeah,
and say, you know, this is what we're up against for the town.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Well, so then I'd like to make a motion that we proceed with requesting funds to address the foundation
Okay.
and also the rotten soffits when we get a price for doing that work.
I'll second that.
The rotten soffits and any urgent, what should we call it? Any urgent protective work that needs to be done to the woodwork to,
Yeah, I think that says it.
yeah, to prevent water damage, further water damage. You want to second that, Marge?
Yeah, I did. Thank you.
Okay,
Yep.
okay, all right. So I will talk to Chris. No, I'm not supposed to do that, am I? It's so difficult to work around these rules. How do we
Yeah.
do that, Joyce? Are you there, Joyce?
Yes, Zan. By the two of you making the motion and approving it, that's fine. You don't need Chris because the majority, two of the three of you voted in favor of it. So,
Okay. Am I allowed to give Chris an update on what took place at the meeting since he's missing it?
not really.
But you,
I
But,
will send the Zoom to Darlene as soon as I can upload it after the meeting, and it'll be available today. So if he wants to watch it, he can.
you could ask him to
okay.
watch it. Yeah, ask him to watch it. I think that's fair enough.
Okay. All right. I will ask, I'll send him an email and ask him to watch it.
You need to vote on the motion. You didn't vote on it.
Oh,
We-
all those in favor say aye.
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 Thank you.
Okay. All right. And I will share with you any additional information that I get on the feedback from contractors for consideration at our next meeting.
Okay.
I expect to be back in Kent the first week in September. Shall we look at a calendar?
Yeah, let me go get my calendar. I'll be right back.
Okay.
If we're gonna do it on a Monday, my preference would be September 21st.
Okay, the 14th you think is too early?
I'm not gonna be here.
Oh, okay. Okay. Are you gone?
I'm gone most of September. This is my retreat that I do every year, but I do have to come back in the middle of it to do a number of things every time.
Okay.
That was the weekend and into the week that I was planning to come back.
Okay, well, let me know what your dates for coming back. Let's
Well,
tentative.
it would be the 21st,
Okay,
21st, 22nd.
Okay, 21st or 22nd.
Yeah.
Well, why don't we say the 22nd?
Okay.
Well, except then you have Historical Society that might occupy you.
Well, but if we do it in the morning, that's okay. I mean, this is
Okay.
part of my Historical Society work, so.
Okay,
I'm not available on the 22nd at 9.
okay, let's do it. Let's say the 21st then.
Yep.
And tentatively, checking with Chris. And that should give us time to see if we have results from the survey and to have more information. We may need to do an interim, just a very quick call to vote on whatever we find out from the painter carpenter.
Okay.
Um,
If by any chance, let's back to the meeting date. If by any chance the 21st doesn't work for Chris, are you available later in the day, Joyce, on the 22nd?
Yes.
Okay, because I could do that too. So either that, first thing
Okay.
on Monday or later in the day, Tuesday.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you both. And Joyce, if you could just get back to me with the wording on the motion.
Yep.
So I can try to figure out how to put the numbers together to accomplish the work we want to do
Okay.
with the contractor. Okay.
Great.
Super. Okay, thanks, guys.
All right, so let me know when you and Chris figure out the meeting date.
Okay, I understand it's a beautiful day down there. Enjoy it.
You too, up there.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye, Joyce.
Bye.
Bye-bye.